Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to work on a tool called n8n. It is a well-known tool in workflow automation. Thanks to this tool, I can integrate several other software programs. It is a well-known tool which is no-code and low-code, used by beginners who are not familiar with development and also by developers. Thanks to this tool, we have the possibility to inject what we call custom JavaScript code. And this allows for the execution of complex automations. So just a small comparison with Make. Make is also a no-code tool, which is very well known, user-friendly, very easy to use, and highly recommended for beginners. The only difference might be that n8n is open source. Make is not open source. So Make gives you a free account, but you have limits on usage and actually the consumption of credits within it. And Make, its entire solution is cloud hosted, so that's a difference with n8n. There, I have the possibility to actually host my work and data elsewhere, outside of n8n, where I can also host it internally if I really want to have paid solutions. But already, the free account will allow you to create your first scenario, your first workflow. We will try to test a simple workflow together, that of creating an AI agent, thanks to a very sophisticated system. I will show you step by step how to do it. To start is simple. We just need to click here to create a free account to have and connect directly to the n8n interface. So before continuing the video on YouTube, I wanted to introduce myself for those who don't know me. I am Dr. Firas. I have a doctorate in artificial intelligence, and today I am a popular instructor on the Udemy platform. On Udemy, I create courses in several categories. There are those in artificial intelligence and others in digital marketing, and today I am proud to be a popular instructor on that platform. You will find that I have about more than 50,000 people who have purchased my courses with 6,744 positive reviews. So most of the courses have the badge bestseller. And today, to thank my subscribers on YouTube, I have gathered all these courses into a single link where you can access all these courses. I will leave you. The link to these courses also comes with a special code for my YouTube community. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I publish free tutorials almost every day on YouTube about artificial intelligence and digital marketing. So I thank you very much and enjoy the training. And there you go. So now I'm in my interface. And here, this interests me. Actually, this part here is to create my first workflow. So here I will select Start from Scratch. And here I will click to create the first workflow. So you will see that here the first step for us, we will just try to make a chat step. That means we will connect with the AI agent with the chat, meaning I will send a message and it will respond to that message. So the AI agent, in a way, it's like we're going to create an assistant, and this assistant will perform tasks for me. So imagine that this assistant, we are going to create it, meaning we will give it a brain so it can think. We will give it instructions. We will explain its mission exactly through instructions. So here you will see that there is a chat trigger. This is to indicate the trigger. So here, it's the chat is the one that will trigger this agent. So I select it. So here I can simply make advanced settings for this chat. But we will just take a very simple chat. So we will click to test it. So here, this is my chat. Obviously the chat, I can simply write a little message here, but if I write a message, nothing executes. So here we need to call upon this brain, this agent. So therefore I will press this plus sign here. And you will see that I will simply type agent. And you will see that here I have an agent, so an artificial intelligence agent. So here, it actually asks me to set parameters. So if I want to configure this agent, then at the agent level, it's a tools agent. So we will leave it like that. Of course, and connect it to my trigger chat, which is essentially the starting point. I leave it as it is because it's a chat actually, which by default, what interests me is to create messages, system. So here I will select a system message. And by default, it is ready on this message. You are a helpful assistant. So here its mission will be to be an assistant that will help me execute. Of course, I can change this instruction, but for now, I will leave it as the default, such an instruction. So as a result, I have my system. I can, of course, add a chat model, a memory, and other tools, or I can simply click here to actually launch my agent. So as you can see here, I have the chat that will trigger, and here I have this assistant. So this assistant here, it's as if it's an empty brain, and therefore it needs something. It needs me to give it some intelligence. It's actually an artificial intelligence model so that it can operate, so that it can, let's say, think. And that's why this is the part that actually allows me to set up this system and this model. So I press here to actually add the model, and you will see that it will offer me several types of models. As you can see here, I can add one of the psyches. I can add Mistral. I can also add OpenRouter. So in any case, I have several types of models here. We will try to understand a little bit how we can install them. I will start with the model. The simplest one is the JPD chat model, meaning if I tell it, listen, I want you to connect with the JPD chat API so you can work and think. That's a little bit. This is the most well-known, the most used, because in short, it is the most moderate. So to make the connection, I would need to click here on Create New Credential. So when I click, it will actually ask me to add what we call an API key so they can run. So this will be a key, let's say a secret one. This key is what will actually allow my system to run and think. So how can I retrieve it? A key, quite simply from chat and DJPT here. So we will actually need to access the site, the opinion platform, to create this key. And so there I simply type OpenAI in Google, and you will find that there it gives me access to that platform. I will simply enter that page to access my platform. Of course, you need to have an account. You can simply log in with your ChatGPT account to access it. If you have an account, you will click on Login. Otherwise, you can click to create a new account, quite simply. So once I am logged in with my account, you will see that there is a small button called the dashboard. There, it will take me to the management interface. So I refresh if it doesn't open. There you go. So now I am in my interface. And in this interface, you will see that there is a small option here called API keys. So this is where I can create my keys. So I click here, and you will see that here I can create multiple keys. So I click here. And here I can click to create my key. So here we are just going to create a test key. We will just create it to run this video. But of course, for you, when you create your key, you really need to save it in a secure place, because the key will consume what we call tokens. And these tokens, they are paid. That means you have to pay later, either to ChatGPT or OpenAI for the consumption of your tokens. So here I will simply call it test n8n. There you go. We will call it n8n. And then, so here I will click on create my secret key. So when I click, you will see that it just created a key for me. So it's a key that we will create up to this point. And then we will delete it. So we will copy it. We will do down. Of course, you have the option to track your usage and also, of course, to connect your card credit with this GPT chat and with this OpenAI. And of course, the token price today is that of OpenAI. If I take, for example, the O3 Mini, we will say it's the cheapest on the market. There are some that are even much cheaper, but this one is the most moderate, the most efficient. So here, I will go back to my workflow and I will simply copy this key. As you can see, it copies in an encrypted manner. Here, once it is installed, I will click here on Save. So here I have the possibility, as you can see, to select the model. So by default, it is on the 4 Mini. It's a bit of the side model. In terms of value for money, it's the best today. Unfortunately, here we don't have the O3, but we have the 4.5. So the 4.5, this one, here it is. It's actually the very latest model. It's true that it's powerful, but be careful, it is very, very, very expensive. So we prefer to stick with the 4 Mini. There is the O1, but the O3 is not yet displayed here. That's why we can stick with the 4.0. You can even take the 4 mini. Here you have the option to select the model that interests you, with which we will run our artificial intelligence. There is the possibility to add options at the level of the advanced configuration of this model. But so far, in fact, our model is ready to be deployed. That means that here, the system has the capability to do the usage, and it will benefit from the OpenAI model, and especially the GPT-4 mini model. So I can give it another name if I want. But here my model is well installed. I can start testing it. So here, I simply have this model. So you have several possibilities then. There is the possibility to continue with OpenAI, as you can of course select other models. So there is also the possibility to add other models here. I can use the Claude model from the company Anthropic. So if I select that one, I can choose the models. But be careful in terms of models. We don't have the very latest model 3.7. Well, we hope they will be added very soon. But until today, there are only models 3 and 3.5 without a letter. And the powerful ones. But of course, the 3.7 one, which was already launched, is much stronger in terms of programming coding, but it costs way too much just to get an idea. Between the prices of 3.5 and the prices of 2.2, 3.7, we find that really, and the X5, the same thing. In terms of output, it costs much more, showing from $4 up to $15 for 1 million tokens. So it's true that it's very interesting, but it remains way too expensive. So you have the possibility, of course, to go to the Anthropic site, the official site, go here in Cloud, and you will find that there is a whole option called API. When you click on Start Building, it will simply take you to the interface where you can easily create your key. So you click to create a key. For example, I created a key here for n8n. You just needed to come to your workflow and simply click here to add it. So there you go, in a simple way. This is where you add your key, but Cloud. Today, it's too expensive, and working with an old version can sometimes cause you to lose a lot in terms of capacity, actually. This is a bit about the Cloud version, which is quite well known in the market. There is also the possibility to add the model, so DeepSeek, which I will go and find the DeepSeek model. But be careful, when I add the DeepSeek API today, it's true that it's the most well-known intelligence in terms of development, especially with the R1 model, which is very advanced in reasoning, and it can really help a lot. But today, regarding the API, DeepSeek, at the time of recording this video, it can change, of course, that the sales of regarding balance, it is sometimes blocked. So sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't. It is currently closed, and I have 9.87 of the ARC that I can consume. But when they are finished, but obviously I can't add more balance. So that's why today we avoid adding psyches, but maybe by then they will simply deliberate. In fact, the power will simply put and make available the balance. At that moment, it will be much more interesting to work with psyches, because in terms of coding, as well as in terms of reflection and reasoning, they remain among the most powerful systems. So having a psyche's brain here in your agent will be really important and will give strength to your agent. Okay, so I will finish with the very last option for the models, because thanks to the models, we can really operate, we can truly have a brain for our agent. So it's very important that I show you all the possibilities. So here there is the possibility to click here. As you can see, there are a lot of models that I can add, but there is this one called OpenRouter. So what is this? When I go to the website openrouter.ai here, I can simply create a free account, and you will see that there it will offer me practically all the models. So we find the model from Alibaba Queen, we can find DeepSeek, we can find Google, Gemini, Cloud 3.7. This means that we can access these models from OpenRouter. And even be careful, if I type here free, you will see that it can even offer free models. This means that I can provide a free brain. It's true there for testing. It's very good to use them. Why not? But to go very far in doing business operations, it would be better to actually buy rather than use the free models. But still, thanks to this, I can work with free models. I click here on keys, as you can see here, and you will see that there I can simply create my key. So there already, I have created one. I can click to create another. There you go. We will call it test n with n. And there it will simply give me this key. I will copy it. Then I will click here to simply add my key that I just copied here to make the connection with OpenRouter. So it's very, very simple. There, I copy and paste it into my code and I save it. And there you go, it's done. So I have a connection there, nice and easy. This connection will give me, look, access to many, many, many models. It's huge, so that's very, very interesting. And even if I come here and type free, you will see that it will give me the free models. And for me, I can even use the GPT chat from this interface. So you find several models, and then I choose the model. I can put a GPT, for example, like this. And there it will give me the GPT models that are available to be used. So there you go. This is another way to do it. Because thanks to this one, it actually gives me, if I type cloud, for example, it also gives me the possibility to connect with cloud. There you go. For example, this one, it can give me the possibility to work with Cloud 3.7, Sonnet. And that's very interesting. Thanks to OpenRouter, I can also work well with DeepSeek. There you go. The R1. There is also the DeepSeek free, but it's a bit slow, but still you can use it. This one, which is a pioneer, is much faster. And of course, the same thing on OpenRouter there, you obviously need to load, in fact, and actually provision your, so buy credits, in fact, inside to be able to use, in fact, the APIs of the pioneering models. And there you go. So up there is very simple. You will go here and you simply have the credits. And there you adjust your bank card and you will, for example, buy 3, 4, 5 credits. And once the credits are purchased, you can, of course, use them with the models you have. So there we have shown how I can work with OpenRouter and how I can work with the models directly with their own API. Okay, so now I will choose OpenAI as the model. So here it is. I have actually connected it with my API and it's very interesting. So there too to test. So there, obviously, look, when I close this window, I also have a small open chat button here. So I click here. I can simply ask it a question just to see if the flow is working correctly or not. Now, I will say to it, hello. And there you go. So now the information is processing. It simply gives me the response here. So the human said to it here, hello. And then it responded, hello, how can I assist you today? Okay, so what does this explain? This explains that, so the system, and there we saw the information there, the agent used it without. So artificial intelligence. And there it got the response, it sent back the response. So once the system is operational, I can move on to the next step. And what is the next step? Here I will click to add the capability, in fact, to give this old system the ability to remember. In fact, for all the interactions we've already had, that's why I will choose window buffer memory. So there it will actually provide a memory. Be careful, this memory will go up to 10. So the iteration, so there, so the system, it will actually remember up to 10, so exchanges. And there, so I come back here, I have my system, and there I will just tell it, here you go, simply. Here we will just ask it a question to the IOU man, and there we will see if it will respond to me or not, and there you go. As a result, of course, it did it successfully. But you should know that it actually has the ability to track all the information. So there you will see that it is actually storing the data and information from the very first questions. It is capable of remembering the latest questions. There, if I look at the output level here, the system has taken the necessary variables to record everything. There, it tells me that I am not a human, and that's what actually makes this system strong. So there, it's like a brain with memory, and that will give me the possibility. So there you go. I have the inputs, and I have the output, and of course, as I add and progress in the discussions, it is actually capable of remembering, okay. So here, we are going to add here. In everything, we are going to add a new tool where I will actually call upon an email box, which is Gmail. So here, Gmail tool. I will simply here, you will see that we will set up a connection to my email box together so that I can send an email. For example, if I give it a question, if I ask it to prepare an email for me, it is actually capable of using my email box to send and receive the information. So it's simple. Here, I start connecting it with my email box. So it's a simple connection, as you can see. So there, you will connect with your login and password. Once it's done, there will be the possibility to access your email box. That's my case. And there I tell it, okay, you will try to do things, actually the resources and operations in an automatic way. The resources messages, because I can work with the noisy ones and everything, but I will work directly on the messages and their operation. It's about sending emails. And there is a very important option. So everything that is the recipient, everything that is the subject, everything that is the message of my email, I won't be required here to click to manually add variables. Today we have this option. It's an option where I will ask it to have the intelligence to detect the person's emails to send. The same thing to detect thanks to the AI model, the subject of the email to draft. And the same thing here at the message level. You have options, in fact, if you want to do a nice formatting. So you leave it as HTML. If you want to have plain text, you can just set it to text. There is also the possibility here, as you see in the message, you can add restrictions. For example, there at the message level, I can add here, like my signature. So I can tell it to add at the bottom. For example, thanks. And there, for example, I put my name. I can tell it here, and so I always add my signature. At the bottom, so of the email, there is the possibility to explore even more options when you see the possibility, in fact, to further customize, for example, there, if you want to add in CC or perhaps a hidden message. If you want to set it so that if someone wants to reply to you, you want them to respond to another email address. So these are options. There is also, in fact, the n8n signature of this tool. I can disable it. So there you will see that I can choose not to mention it at all. Tell it not to mention the software name. So there I can disable it. And there you go. So now everything is ready. So here, if I look, I simply have in my system here a brain, an AI agent that has a connection with a GPT-4o mini chat model, which is capable of sending it processed information. It has a memory, and there, as a tool, it is capable of sending emails. As you can see, I have the possibility to add several tools if I want. And there you go. So my first system is ready to be deployed. Okay, so now we're going to try to actually test our system. So here, we're going to bring the mouse over, click, and then we'll try simply to send a point and see if it is capable of understanding and taking it. You should know that in the prompt I'm going to add here, I will try to ask it to send an email to schedule an appointment. Okay, this is my prompt. So here, I will ask it to send an email to this salesperson at this email address, to the test email address I just created, to ask them to schedule an appointment for that date. So for me, my goal is for it to be able to create a subject and find a message, then send it a professional message, and especially to send it to this email address. So here, what I'm going to do is simply press here to start the print. So now it is thinking. We'll try to see. There you go. It is sending the email, and normally it has just done what was necessary. So what I'm going to do is simply double click here or click on open to take a look. What it has done here is the request. And here it tells me that the output, so it has sent the message to this email address to actually send the information. So we will try to open the email address to see if it was actually able to draft an email using the AI or not. And there you go, it has simply prepared a subject here. It also prepared a professional email. And as you can see here, it has created the signature that I requested. So the email was sent correctly to the right email address that I specified. And there you go, the workflow is functioning correctly, so I was able to create a simple workflow. And that's where I used an AI model, where I used a tool, and where I started simply input, which is the chat and the system that works correctly. So I hope this simple exercise has helped you understand how this tool n8n works. Please let me know in the comments if you would like us to create a complete complex workflow, where I will add, in fact, what we call outputs, where I will add even more features to do what we call prospecting using a system with n8n. So simply write prospecting in the comments and I will create a video for you where I show you how I will do a complete automatic prospecting with an n8n system. Thank you. And there you have it. We've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to support me, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue creating more free videos on YouTube. And if you want to join my community on Udemy, if you want to have more advanced, more detailed courses with more examples and practical workshops, I've put on my website the 2-pack, the first one which simply contains all my courses in artificial intelligence, automation and our codes. And the second one is a complete package. It contains approximately 1,000 hours of training. You'll even find digital marketing inside. Don't forget to simply use the code I created, especially for my YouTube community. It's a code that is YT20. This one will simply give you a discount of 20% on these packages from yesterday. Please note, it's a code that is only valid for my YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much and see you soon.